Welcome to Psychology the Daf. Today we're going to talk about an uncomfortable topic, and that is pornography. The Gemara references a pasuk in Dvarim, Perek Zayin, pasuk Chavav, Lo savi to'eva el beisecha. One shall not bring an abomination into their homes, into your homes. Now, of course, the Torah was referring to Avodah Zarah. However, in our day and age, we do not have much interest in Avodah Zarah. However, we do have a lot of interest in sexuality. And it's uncomfortable to talk about, but we do need to talk about the ubiquity of pornography. That is really hard to imagine anybody age 10 or even younger and up that has not been exposed to pornography in our times. It's just simply too available. My unscientific experience with people whom I meet in my office shows a significant increase in premarital sexual activity and extramarital sexual activity in those who have come of age post the 2010s. And I believe that is because of the incredible exposure to sexuality and normalization of various kinds of sexuality portrayed in the pornographic material. There is a huge increase in the reporting of female porn addiction, which is something that when I was growing up, certainly pornography existed, but it seemed to be so much less prevalent, especially amongst women. Now, I'm not the kind of person that sits around in sackcloth and ashes bewailing the state of our society, and I'm not even going to bother to list all the harmful influences. I think the most important part of any psychological problem is to recognize that it's there. One cannot change what one is not willing to admit exists. What I think is even worse than the pornography itself is the tortured guilt that many people can feel. It's hard on the psyche to be devout in every other way and then feel compelled by an irresistible urge to look at pornography and to masturbate. However, the urge for some can indeed be overwhelming, especially when it's conditioned from youth. I'm not even sure some people have a choice in the matter at certain points in their life. Many believe that they'll stop using pornography when they're married. Often that does not work. Once boredom and frustration sets in, which is at times part of any relationship, the same old urges come back. There is also, unfortunately, the matter of escalation. Regular sex, as portrayed in pornography, can become stale, leading people to take more risks, such as online encounters with underage persons or those providing videos from unknown and dangerous sources. It is a federal crime to possess pedophilic material, and there are those who escalate to live cameras and live encounters. Okay, so what do we do? First of all, it's important to stop judging those who fall into this trap. Spouses and parents should view this as the same as opiate addiction. It is much less about right and wrong and much more about how destructive and compulsive it can be. Even when parents know by various signs that their adolescents have been looking at pornography, there really is no way to know the extent of it and whether it has done much damage or not. Like alcohol and other drugs, it's definitely unhealthy, but completely variable to the extent that the person is caught up in it. Experimenting, early stages of addiction, completely overcome and overwhelmed. For spouses, it's easier and it's harder. It's harder because spouses have to overcome a feeling of betrayal, being cheated on, and possibly feelings of inadequacy as compared to the portrayal of sexuality from superhuman bodies and sexual feats on these videos that they in some way feel they must compete with. It's also easier because there are accessible avenues of sexuality that can be explored. This is not to say that someone who looks at pornography is doing so because their spouse does not give them enough sex. That's ridiculous. Every person is responsible for managing their sexual needs and impulses. However, being open about something and finding the solution is different than naming the problem. A solution to a problem might not be the cause. When couples work together to normalize their sexual urges and they're open and honest about their wishes and needs, they can help each other with their vulnerabilities. It's hard but important work to become sexual adults.